The sky over New Portland cracked open with a sound like thunder. People in the market screamed and ran as a strange light fell from above. A fiery object tore through the clouds and crashed into the forest near the town's edge. Sirens blared. News drones buzzed. Everyone rushed to safety, but Jake didn't run. He stood frozen, clutching a paper bag of groceries. His job at the tech repair shop had just ended. He was tired, sweaty, and not ready for alien drama. But something deep inside told him this wasn't just a crash. Curious, Jake walked toward the smoke. People shouted at him to stay back, but he didn't stop. A strange humming filled the air. Birds flew from the trees. Then he saw it, half buried. In dirt and broken trees was a sleek silver ship, glowing with blue lights. Parts of it sparked, steam rising into the air. Jake ducked under a fallen branch and stepped closer. The ship's side opened with a hiss. Out stepped a girl. She looked not human. Her skin had a faint shimmer like starlight. Her long hair floated gently, even with no wind. Her eyes glowed purple. She wore a torn metallic suit, and her legs shook as if she could barely stand. Jake took a slow step forward. She looked lost, scared and injured. Then she collapsed. Jake dropped the grocery bag and ran to her side. Her breathing was quick and shallow. Her lips moved, whispering something he couldn't understand. "Hey," Jake said gently. "You?" "Okay." No answer. He didn't know what to do. She needed help. But she didn't look like someone who'd be safe in a hospital full of humans. And she was alone. He looked at the bag of groceries. Only one thing hadn't fallen into the dirt. Banana. Jake pulled it out and peeled it. "I know it's stupid," he said nervously, "but maybe you're hungry?" She blinked slowly, her eyes focusing on the fruit. Her hand moved shaky but firm and she took it. Then, without hesitation, she ate it. Fast, like she hadn't eaten in days. When she finished, her breathing slowed. She sat up a little and looked at him. Her voice was soft but clear. "You gave food. You are kind. What is your species?" "Human," Jake said, stunned. "You speak English?" "I learn." "Quickly," she said. Her voice was calm, almost musical. "I am Jira, of the Arendari Star Accord. I am ... hunted." Jake's heart dropped. "Wait, what do you mean, hunted?" Before she could answer, a harsh mechanical noise echoed through the trees. Jake looked up. 3 dark, insect-like figures floated down from the sky. Their black armor shimmered, and they held long glowing weapons. They scanned the area. Jura's eyes widened. "Kill agents. They track my life code. You must run." But Jake didn't move. "What are you talking about?" he whispered. "They'll kill you." Jira touched his chest with glowing fingers. "You gave food. Kindness. I name you my protector." A blinding blue pulse shot from her hand into his chest. He gasped, feeling energy flood through him like fire. The symbol of her people, a glowing spiral, burned into his palm, then faded. The hunters turned toward the sound. "Go." She shouted, trying to rise. Jake didn't know what he was doing, but he grabbed her arm, pulled her up, and ran. They dodged between trees as energy blasts lit up the forest. Leaves burned. Branches exploded. One beam barely missed Jake's head. He heard the hum of the hunters chasing them. Jira stumbled. Groaning in pain, Jake stopped behind a fallen log and helped her sit. "Why are they after you?" he asked between breaths. "I am ... ambassador. I was to speak for peace. But someone wants war. I was betrayed. And now you're stuck here with me," Jake said bitterly. "And I gave you a banana." Jira gave a weak smile. That fruit was act of peace. That matters. More beams flew past. The hunters were closing in. Jake stood. All right. I don't know anything about aliens or space politics. But if someone wants to kill you, they'll have to go through me. You are brave, she whispered. Jake reached down and lifted her onto his back. No, I'm just a guy who gave someone a snack. Let's move. Asterisk, asterisk, Jake stumbled through the woods with Jira on his back. The strange alien energy inside him was still buzzing in his chest. It didn't hurt, but it felt alive, like something old and powerful had awakened inside him. Behind them, the forest echoed with unnatural sounds, metal wings, clicking armor. Cold voices speaking in a language Jake couldn't understand. Jira groaned, her fingers gripping his shoulders. They will not stop. They are death agents, programmed. No mercy. Jake didn't like the sound of that. He reached a clearing and spotted an old train tunnel, the kind that had been abandoned years ago when Earth switched to air transports. He ducked inside, dust and darkness swallowing them. The hunters passed. Above, missing them, Jake laid Jara down on a flat stone and took a breath. Okay, now explain. What do you mean you're an ambassador? You look like a kid. I am young for my species, but chosen for peace, she said, her breathing still shaky. My mission was to speak with Earth's leaders. We came in secret, but before landing, my own guards turned on me. Why? Jake asked. ZHR's single quotes S glowing eyes met his. Because I believe in unity. There are powerful beings who want war between your world and mine. They say humans are dangerous. Jake gave a half laugh. They're not wrong. Jira tilted her head. And yet, you gave me food when I was dying. Jake sat beside her. I didn't think about it. You looked like you needed help. She nodded, and that instinct, it changed everything. Suddenly, her communicator hidden under her collar beeped. A small hologram flickered up, a rotating symbol of the Arendari Accord. Then it turned red. Jira frowned. My biosignature has been marked for termination. My title removed. I am now classified as rogue by my own people. Jake looked stunned. Wait, they declared you an enemy? Yes. Because you want peace? Yes. Jake stood, pacing in the tunnel. Great. You're hunted by your enemies, and now you're friends. What are we supposed to do now? Jira touched the spiral symbol on his palm. You have the protector's mark. Means the code I gave you is active. My memories, knowledge, will slowly pass into your brain. Jake froze. Excuse me? What? You will begin to understand our systems, technology, language, everything needed to protect me. Jake stared. You mean I'm gonna get alien info uploaded into my head like some sci-fi movie? Jira simply nodded. It has begun. Jake's head started to ache. He rubbed his temples. He could suddenly remember a star chart, even though he had never studied space. This is insane, he muttered. But before they could say more, there was a soft sound at the tunnel entrance like claws on stone. Jake grabbed a broken metal rod nearby and motioned for Jira to stay. Down a shadow moved in the tunnel. Then it spoke. Drop the girl, human. We only need her. Jake stepped forward. Not happening. The hunter stepped out. It was tall, armor-plated, and had glowing red eyes. Its voice was robotic, but filled with menace. You are not her species. You have no value. Move. Jake didn't move. I said Jake swung the rod hard. Sparks flew as it hit the creature's chest, but it barely flinched. The hunter raised a glowing weapon, but before it could fire, Jira threw something from the ground. A pulse grenade, boom. The tunnel shook. The creature was thrown backward. Jake grabbed Jira, and they ran out the back exit of the tunnel in two. The night, breathing hard. Jake looked down. You had a grenade this whole time. Jira smiled faintly. It was my last one. They walked through the night, sticking to shadows. Eventually, Jake took her to the only person he could trust, his old friend, Mia. She was a genius with alien tech, even if she wasn't supposed to have it. When Mia opened the door to her rooftop lab, she blinked at them. Jake, wait, why is there an alien girl bleeding on your shoulder? Jake replied, long story. She's an ambassador. And now the whole galaxy wants her dead. Mia blinked again. Come in. Mia's rooftop lab was hidden behind solar panels and a fake garden shed. On the outside, it looked like junk. But inside, it was filled with screens, alien tech, and quiet humming machines. Jake carefully placed Jira on a padded bench. Her breathing was shallow. Her skin glowed faintly, but her hands trembled. The wounds from the crash had reopened. Mia knelt beside her, scanning with a handheld device. This isn't just alien. This is high-level, starship-level tech embedded. In her body, she's part machine. Jira's voice was weak. Not machine, enhanced. For diplomatic missions. Jake looked at Mia. Can you help her? Mia hesitated. I can try, but if the trackers follow your signal here, we're toast. Jake pulled out a small device from Jira's belt. She said they'd track her through this. Mia's eyes widened. That's a galactic transbeacon. It's how they found her so fast. Without a word, she tossed the device into a small pressurized chamber. The chamber closed and flooded with blue light. The beacon fizzled and exploded into smoke. Jake leaned closer to Jira. You're safe now. Rest. Jira shook her head slightly. No, not safe. Never safe. They always come. Mia patched her up as best as she could, using both human and alien tech. Nanogoals, blood filters, cooling wraps. Jira relaxed, but only slightly. Jake finally sat down, rubbing his temples. The mark on his palm was glowing faintly now. His head, still buzzed new knowledge, kept slipping into his thoughts. He could understand some of the alien writing on Mia's screens. How long until they find us again? He asked. Mia shrugged. Depends. If she sent any signal out before coming here, we've got a few hours. Jake turned to Jira. Did you send a message before you crashed? Jira closed her eyes. Yes. Tried to call Allie's, but I think it was jammed. Not sure if it got through. Mia's face darkened. Then they could already be on their way. Outside, clouds covered the moon. The city was dark. Silent. Too silent. Suddenly, the lights in Mia's lab flickered. Jake stood instantly. That's not normal, is it? Mia checked her console. EMP pulse localized. Someone's trying to kill our power. Jake moved toward the door, grabbing a wrench. Jira sat up weakly. They are here. A loud thud hit the rooftop. Mia whispered. They're dropping from ships. No one heard them. Silent engines. Jake peeked through the window. 3 tall figures stood in the shadows. Black armor. No faces. They moved like shadows, scanning the building. He turned to Jira. Can you walk? She nodded slowly. Yes. With help, Jake helped her up. She leaned against him, still weak. Mia pulled open a trapdoor in the floor. Escape tunnel. It connects to the old sewer lines. Go now, distract them. No way, Jake said. You'll get caught. Mia smirked. Please. I hacked into a Galtari cruiser last year. I'll be fine. Jira looked at her. You are brave. For a non-combat species, Mia gave a half-laugh. Humans are full of surprises. Jake helped Jira into the dark tunnel, and they began crawling through the narrow path. Water dripped from the pipes above. The air smelled like rust and mold. ZHRO winced as they moved. Your friend? She risks her life. For me? Jake nodded. Because you matter, you're trying to stop a war. That's bigger than all of us. Double quotes. Suddenly, Jira paused. Her fingers brushed the tunnel wall. Stop. Jake froze. A glowing crack ran along the wall, most invisible. Jira placed her hand over it. This is not sewer wall. It's an energy trap. Jake stared. What? Hunter Tech. They predicted. Your route. It's a kill zone. Jake's heart raced. Can you disable it? Jira closed her eyes. The spiral mark on Jake's palm glowed, and he suddenly saw the internal structure of the trap. Like a blueprint burned into his brain. I see it, he whispered. There's a trigger node, 7 steps ahead. Jira looked surprised. You accessed shared knowledge already. Jake crawled forward carefully, reached the small black node hidden behind some moss, and yanked a wire. The crackling stopped. Trap deactivated, he said. Jira smiled weakly. You're learning fast, human. Jake grinned. Still just a guy with a banana. They moved through the sewer until they reached a ladder leading up. Jake peeked. Out. They were in the industrial zone, abandoned warehouses, broken windows, and empty streets. He helped Jira out into the night air. But before they could move, a spotlight fell on them from above. A massive alien ship hovered silently. Its weapons glowing red. A robotic voice echoed from the ship. Jira of Arendor Serendor. The human will be spared if you obey. Jake stood in front of her. I don't believe you. The ship's weapons charged. Jira grabbed his hand. Then we run. Asterisk the alien ship hovered silently above them, its red lights glowing like the eyes of a predator. Jake's heart pounded. His hand gripped Jira's tightly. Around them, the wind stirred dust and trash from the broken street. They had nowhere to hide. Then came the warning again, louder. Jira, your escape is over. Surrender now. The human will not be harmed. Jira took a shaky breath. They're lying. They always lie. Jake nodded. Then we don't give them a chance. The ship's weapons charged with a rising hum. Suddenly, Jira touched the mark on Jake's palm. Do you trust me? Jake didn't even hesitate. Yes, she whispered a word in her native language. A spark of energy surged between them and Jake felt his body heat up. It wasn't painful, but powerful. Like something ancient had awakened inside him again. Jira looked into his eyes. That was a shield pulse. It will protect you for 30 seconds. Use it to run. I'll draw them away. Jake frowned. No, we do this together. If you go down, I go with you. Jira blinked, stunned by his words. You're not like the others I've met. Jake smirked. We Earth people don't abandon friends. The first beam fired. It struck the street next to them, exploding the ground. Jake didn't flinch. He grabbed Jira and darted through the alleyways, dodging fire. The energy shield Jira gave him glowed bright blue, deflecting to blasts. They made it behind an old factory wall, breathing hard. Jira slumped against the concrete. We can't keep running, she said. They will find us again. Jake looked around. The factory was abandoned, but it still had a few functioning machines inside. Then he spotted something half buried under rubla, strange black crate, covered in warning signs, both in English and alien script. Jake stared at it. The symbols glowed faintly. Jira followed his gaze. That's not human. Mia's voice crackled suddenly through Jake's wristband. Jake, I traced your signal. Listen carefully. That crate is from a failed alien experiment site. It contains an ancient weapon, but it's not meant for them. It was designed for humans. Jake raised an eyebrow. Wait, what? Mia continued. It's part of an old alliance Earth never knew about. Long ago, before Earth was even space-ready, one alien race gave us a gift, a weapon tied to empathy. It only activates for someone willing to die, protecting another. Jira looked at Jake, then at the crate. Jake slowly placed his palm. The same one with her protector's mark in the box. The crate opened. Inside was a sleek silver device, shaped like a gauntlet. It floated up and wrapped around Jake's arm. His veins lit up blue. His eyes glowed faintly. Knowledge poured into his brain. Battle protocols, shield control, pulse weapon instructions, all in a flash. Jira whispered, "You just became Earth's first warrior in the stars." Jake clenched his fist. "Let's finish this." They exited the factory. Above them, the ship descended again. Jake raised his new arm. A glowing shield formed instantly. The next energy beam hit Tand, bounced off. He fired back. The pulse blast was silent but strong. It ripped through the ship's outer shell. Smoke poured out. The ship shook, backing away. Jera's mouth opened in awe. "You disabled a Class D warship with one hit." Jake grinned. Guess they didn't expect a guy with a banana to be armed. The ship retreated into the clouds. But Jake wasn't celebrating yet. From nearby rooftops, several hunters emerged, ready to fight on foot. Jira tried to stand, but her strength was fading. "I can't fight anymore." Jake stepped forward, shielding her with his body. "You don't have to." The first hunter leaped at him. Jake moved fast, faster than human. The gauntlet glowed as he punched forward, sending a shockwave that knocked the hunter through a wall. The others hesitated. Jake's voice was calm, steady. "You want her. You'll have to go through me." They attacked, but this time, Jake was ready. The gauntlet extended into a blade, slicing through their weapons. His shield pulsed outward, blasting 3 away in one strike. Jira sat behind him, stunned. "How are you doing this?" Jake wiped dust from his face. "I don't know. It's like the gauntlet understands what I feel," she whispered. "That's how it works. Only those with a protector's heart can use it fully. And you, Jake, you're becoming something more than human." The last hunter backed away, signaling the retreat. Moments later, all enemies were gone. Jake looked up at the sky. "Think they'll come back?" Jira nodded slowly. "Yes, and next time, they'll bring more. But now we fight with hope." Jake looked at the gauntlet, then at her. "We need allies. We need to tell people what's going on." Jira looked toward the stars. "Then let's begin." The night was quiet again. Too quiet. Jake stood on the broken rooftop, the alien gauntlet still glowing on his arm. Below, Jira rested, her strength slowly returning. The battle was over for now, but they both knew it wasn't the end. From the shadows, Mia finally appeared. Her jacket was torn, her face scratched, but she was smiling. "Took me a while to catch up," she said, limping forward. Jake smiled back. "You saved our lives with the info on that crate." Mia glanced at the gauntlet. So it worked. Jake raised the glowing arm, better than expected. Mia looked down at Jira. "How's she holding up?" Jira nodded weakly. "Your friend is clever." Mia chuckled. "I get that a lot." Jake helped Jira up. "We need a place to plan, someplace safe. No more running." Mia nodded. "I know one. But it's risky." Jake raised an eyebrow. "Define risky." "It's a hidden comms, stationed deep in the old military tunnels. Still has a working satellite uplink. If Jira wants to send a message across the stars, that's our best shot." Jira's eyes lit up. "Yes, I must speak to my allies, if any still trust me. They moved through the city at night, avoiding drones and patrols. When they reached the tunnels, Jake felt something strange, like he was being watched. They entered the station. It was dark, dusty, and cold. But the old systems still worked. Mia activated the console. Blue lights blinked. The uplink, WHIR red dot Jake, helped Jira sit near the control pad. She placed her fingers on the glass, and symbols began to appear her. Native language, she whispered, sending emergency signal. To neutral systems. If they believe me, help may come. Jake stood by the door, watching. Then he heard something behind him. A footstep, he turned. It was Mia holding a plasma pistol. Mia. Jake asked, "What are you doing?" She didn't smile this time. "I'm sorry, Jake," she said, voice shaking. "They offered me something. Credit citizenship on their planet. I'm tired of hiding on Earth, living in a junk lab. They said if I gave them Jira, they'd take me with them." Jake's heart sank. "You betrayed us." Jira tried to stand, but Mia raised the gun at her. "Don't move. I don't want to hurt you. I just want out." Jake stepped between Mia and Jira. "You'll have to shoot me first." Mia's hand trembled. "Don't make me do this." "Jake." Jake held his ground. "We trusted you. Jira trusted you. You're better than this." Mia's lip quivered. Her hand lowered slightly. Then, from the shadows, another figure appeared. A tall alien with a cloak and a long staff. His face was hidden under armor, but his voice was cold and sharp. "Too late for talk," he said. "Take the ambassador. Kill the human." Jake lunged forward. The gauntlet lit up, forming a shield just in time to block a blast from the staff. The alien was strong, fast. Trained Jake fought with everything he had, dodging attacks, protecting Jira, yelling at Mia, "Run if you have to, but don't help him." Mia froze, torn between her guilt and fear. The alien kicked Jake hard, sending him crashing into a wall. The gauntlet sparked, trying to recover. The alien approached Jira. She stood slowly, her eyes glowing. "You dare harm my protector," she said. The alien laughed. "You are fallen. Your words mean nothing." Jira raised her hand. A burst of white light shot out, but the alien absorbed it with a strange black device. Jake rose, coughing, blood in his mouth. "He's got some kind of dampener. Your powers won't work." "Then it's up to you," she said softly. Jake looked down at his gauntlet, flickering, damaged. He looked at Mia, still frozen, her gun now dropped. He ran forward, grabbing a metal pipe. Not high-tech, not fancy, just human strength and will. The alien turned. To slow this time, Jake swung hard right across the alien's head. Sparks flew. The alien stumbled back. Jake tackled him, smashing the gauntlet into the alien's chest. A pulse shot out. The alien screamed. Then silence. He collapsed. Jake stood over him, breathing hard. "Nobody hurts her. Not on my watch." Jira moved to him. "You saved me." Again, Jake looked down at the unconscious alien. "This won't be the last one, will it?" Jira shook her head. "No, more will come. But now the signal is sent." She pointed to the console. A green light blinked. Jake helped her out of the tunnel. Mia followed quietly, saying nothing. Outside, the stars were visible again. Jira looked up. Maybe someone is listening. Morning came, but the sky stayed dark. A huge alien dreadnought ship now hovered above Earth's horizon, bigger than any vessel Jake had seen. It blocked the sunlight over the city like a floating mountain. A low humming sound pulsed through the buildings, windows shaking, birds vanishing. Jira's message had been received, but not by her friends. "They answered," she said, standing beside Jake on a rooftop. Her voice was calm, but her face was pale. That is the High Tribunal ship of the Vexery. They are here to end my life and erase the threat of peace. Jake stared up. You were saying? The people who should have helped came to kill you? Jira nodded. War profits them. Peace threatens their power. I was naive. Below, sirens blared. The city's people were evacuating. Drones screamed through the sky. A message echoed from loudspeakers all around. Human. Protector, come forward. Surrender the fugitive. Earth will remain unharmed. Jake looked at his gauntlet. It glowed dimly. The energy inside had weakened from the last battle. He had no army, no backup, just himself. Jira touched his arm. I can go. Alone. Maybe they'll spare your planet. Jake shook his head. I don't trust people who give ultimatums with guns. Mia joined them, looking tired and ashamed. They've hacked into every signal. No one on Earth can call for help. But I think they want you to show up. Make an example of you. Jake's jaw tightened. Then I'll give them a show they won't forget. He stepped forward, raising his glowing arm toward the sky. Let's talk, he said loudly. The ship above opened. A long beam of light came down like a pillar. It surrounded Jake and Jira, lifting them slowly into the air. Mia watched from the rooftop, whispering, Please come back alive. Inside the ship, everything was cold, metal, and blue light. Dozens of armored aliens stood in silence. At the center of the grand hall was the tribunal, a group of 3. Tall figures cloaked in black. They had no faces, only shifting light where eyes should be. The central one spoke, Asira of Arendari, a stand accused of betrayal, disobedience, and infecting a human with forbidden knowledge. Jira stood. Straight, I stood for peace. That is not a crime. The voice grew louder. You turned a primitive species into a threat. Jake stepped forward. I'm standing right here, you know? Gasps filled the hall. One of the tribunal turned to Jake. Human, do you understand what you've become? Jake nodded. Yeah. A guy who helped someone when she was alone. A guy who gave her a banana. More murmurs. You mock us, one of them hissed. No, Jake said calmly. I'm proving something. That humans don't need spaceships or power to do what's right. A member of the tribunal raised a glowing sphere. Then die with her. Lightning exploded from the sphere. Jake raised his arm. Boom. The gauntlet caught the blast, but Jake was pushed backward. He dropped to one knee, gasping. The gauntlet's light flickered. Jira ran to him. Your body can't take more. Jake smiled through the pain. Doesn't matter. I'm not leaving you. The tribunal prepared for another strike. But then, the walls of the ship shook, an alert blared. Something massive approached from space.zh air turned. That sound. It's Arendari tech. Outside the giant windows, another starship entered orbit, sleek, silver, with the emblem of Jarrah's people glowing across the hall. A voice echoed in the hall. This is Commander Thalon of the Arendari Accord. Cease this trial. The ambassador is under our protection. The tribunal stood. Furious, Joe helped Jira to her feet. Your people came. Jira nodded, teary-eyed. Because of you, the tribunal tried to activate a barrier. Jake rushed forward, fist glowing, and punched. The control node. It shattered in sparks. Jira pulled him into the beam of light as the Arendari ship locked onto them. Flash, they were teleported away. Back on Earth, Mia saw the dreadnought slowly pulling back into space. Peaceful again. For now, Jake and Jira stood under the morning sun, still breathing. Jira smiled softly. You didn't just protect me. You gave hope to my world. Jake looked at the sky. One banana did all that. Jira laughed quietly. Kindness changes more than weapons ever could. Jake looked down at the gauntlet. It stopped glowing, slowly faded from his arm. "It's done," Jira said. "You don't need it anymore." Jake looked at her. "But I'll still be around. You're not getting rid of me that easy." 2 weeks later, Earth was no longer the same, above its atmosphere. 3 alien ships floated not as invaders, but as guests. For the first time, the Arendari Accord had revealed itself to humanity. And for the first time, humans were officially recognized. It's a species of value, all because of one man. Jake stood on the balcony of Unity Tower, Earth's first alien-human peace embassy. Below him, leaders, reporters, and scientists gathered for the historic announcement. The sky shimmered with energy shields, protecting the event. Alien tech buzzed softly around them. Jera stood beside him, dressed in a formal robe of her people's silver, flowing, elegant. Her eyes glowed gently, but her smile was warmer than ever. "You look nervous," she said softly. Jake tugged at the collar of his black suit. "Yeah, well, I'm just a repair shop guy. I wasn't made for speeches." "You were made for something far more important," she replied. "You stood between me and death. That is a leader's heart." Jake sighed. "I just gave you a banana." She laughed gently. That banana fed hope. As the ceremony began, Jira stepped forward to speak to the crowd. Alien translators hovered nearby, whispering her words into every ear in every language. "I came to your world as an ambassador," she began, "but I fell from the sky, wounded and hunted. It was not a president nor a soldier who saved me, but a human with no power, no title, and no weapon except kindness." She looked toward Jake. That simple act changed everything. It told me that humans are not what the warlords claim. You are not primitive. You are potential. And so, today, I offer Earth a place in the Galactic Accord as equals, as protectors of peace. The crowd roared with applause. Jake's name was already famous across the stars. Alien children played games, pretending to be the human protector. Merchants sold toy gauntlets. His story had spread to corners of the galaxy where humans were once unknown or feared. After the speech, reporters swarmed him. How did it feel fighting a tribunal with nothing but a pipe and your fists? Is it true you resisted mental probes without training? What's your next mission as humanity's protector? Jake smiled awkwardly. Honestly, just trying not to pass out right now. That made them laugh. Later, back inside the tower, Jake and Jira stood alone by a massive window overlooking Earth. "You know," Jake said, "if someone had told me a month ago that I'd be friends with an alien ambassador, I would have called them crazy." Jira tilted her head. "And if someone had told me a banana would be the symbol of a galactic peace agreement, I would have banned it as a weapon." They both laughed, then Jake grew serious. "So, what now?" Jira stepped closer. "Now we rebuild. Together, my people will help protect Earth from what's out there." "But there's still resistance in the stars. Not everyone wants peace." Jake nodded. "Then let's keep fighting for it." She held out her hand. "With me." He took it without hesitation. Always. Suddenly, a silver case near the console blinked. It had been left by the Arendari command. Jake opened it. Inside was a new gauntlet sleeker, polished and engraved with both alien script and Earth's word protector. A note inside read, "Only those who act without reward are worthy of leading worlds." Jake slipped it on. It fit perfectly. The mark from before reappeared on his palm, pulsing gently. He looked at Jira. "Guess I'm back in the fight." She smiled. This time, not alone. Across the galaxy, in dark corners of space, leaders watched Jake's speech. Some frowned. Some feared. Some began to plan, but others, especially the young, felt something stir in their hearts. If one human could change everything, maybe there was hope in a tiny village on a desert planet. A small alien boy handed a banana to a wounded traveler and said, "You're safe now. I'll protect you." And so, it began again.